once knew a young speculator who came to the market with fire in his eyes and a pocket full of borrowed confidence. He stayed for 18 months, long enough to lose money, long enough to doubt himself, but not long enough to understand what the game was truly asking of him. He left, convinced the market was against him. 6 months later, the very patterns he had been studying began to move exactly as he once expected them to. But he was gone. So let us begin with the question that brings you here. How long does it really take to become a profitable trader? Most men will not answer this honestly, even to themselves. They come into speculation hoping for months. Quietly, secretly, they expect that a year should be more than enough. They see a few charts, learn a few terms, win a few trades by accident, and believe they are close. But here is the truth that few are willing to accept. The market does not operate on your sense of urgency. It operates on its own time, and it tests you in ways that no textbook can prepare you for. Let me tell you something most beginners never understand until it costs them dearly. The first years in trading are not for getting rich. They are for survival. In the early days of the bucket shops, I watched men come and go with astonishing speed. They would arrive eager, trade heavily, and disappear just as quickly. Not because they lacked intelligence, but because they underestimated the length of the journey. They thought profit was a destination just around the corner. In truth, it was miles down a road they had barely begun to walk. There is a rhythm to this business, a maturation, if you will. And if you pay attention, you will see it unfold in nearly every trader who stays long enough. In the beginning, there is curiosity. The first 6 months, sometimes the first year. Everything feels new. Every price movement seems meaningful. You trade often, too often you chase. You guess, you act on impulse. And more often than not, you lose. Here is the part that will surprise you. Those early losses are not the real danger. The real danger is the illusion of understanding that comes with a few early wins. That illusion convinces you that you are closer than you truly are. Then comes the second phase. Somewhere between the first and second year, a change begins. Not dramatic, not obvious, but real. You start to see your mistakes. You begin to recognize patterns, not just in the market, but in yourself. You notice how you move your stops, how you add to losing positions, how you trade out of boredom, or worse, out of frustration. Let me tell you what almost no new trader understands about this stage. This is where the real work begins. Not in learning new strategies, but in unlearning bad behavior. By the time a trader reaches his second or third year, if he has stayed disciplined enough to continue, something interesting happens. The losses become smaller, not because the market has become kinder, but because the trader has become more careful. He takes fewer trades, he waits more, he begins to respect risk. And occasionally, just occasionally, he experiences a stretch of consistency, not perfection, but control. Now listen carefully because this is important. Time alone does not produce a profitable trader. A man can spend 10 years in the market and still behave like a beginner. What matters is how quickly he reduces his errors. If you wish to estimate how long it will take you to become profitable, do not look at the calendar. Look at your habits. Look at how often you repeat the same mistake. There is a principle I learned early, though I did not have a name for it at the time. Profitability is a function of error reduction. The faster you eliminate your costly mistakes, the sooner you move toward consistency. Consider this. A trader who continues to revenge trade, who moves his stops, who increases size after losses, who jumps from one system to another is not progressing. He is circling, and circles can last for years. But another trader, one who studies his trades, who journals honestly, who confronts his weaknesses and corrects them, can compress time. What takes one man 5 years may take another 3. If you remember nothing else from this lesson, remember this. The market does not pay you for effort. It pays you for discipline. Now there is a saying among seasoned operators, one that has proven itself over decades. It often takes about 3 years of serious, deliberate work to reach consistent profitability. Not months. Not a single lucky year. 3 years of focused, painful, instructive experience. This is not a guarantee. It is a rule of thumb. A reflection of what many have endured before arriving at stability. And there is a reason for it. It takes time to see enough cycles. Time to experience fear, greed, hesitation, overconfidence. Time to be wrong, and then wrong again, until you finally begin to understand why. In my day, we called losses tuition. The market is a hard teacher, but it is a fair one. It charges each man according to his ignorance. Here is another truth that few care to hear. Financial desperation will delay your success more than ignorance ever will. When a man needs money from the market, he ceases to think clearly. He forces trades. He ignores risk. He clings to positions that should be closed. He hopes when he should act, and acts when he should wait. Desperation shortens your patience and magnifies your mistakes. If you wish to survive long enough to become profitable, you must give yourself room. Your living expenses must not depend on your next trade. Your position size must be small enough that a loss does not disturb your judgment. In other words, you must buy yourself time, because time is the one ingredient you cannot replace. In a moment, I will tell you the real reason most traders quit just before they turn the corner. It is not what you think. Most traders do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they misjudge the timeline. They expect progress to be visible in weeks, when in truth it reveals itself over years. So they reach the 18-month mark, or perhaps 2 years, and they see only modest improvement. They are no longer reckless, but they are not yet consistently profitable. They stand at the edge of competence, but they mistake it for stagnation, and so they leave. What they do not see is that their error rate has been declining, their discipline has been improving, their understanding is finally beginning to take shape. They are, in fact, closer than they have ever been. But they abandon the process because it has taken longer than they imagined. The market has a hidden calendar. It does not reward you when you feel ready. It rewards you when you have changed. Let me tell you something worth remembering. Endurance is a trading skill. The ability to stay in the game, to survive your own mistakes, to continue learning when progress feels slow. This is what separates the eventual winner from the perpetual beginner. You must develop what I call market endurance. The willingness to persist through confusion, through doubt, through periods where nothing seems to work. Because those periods are not wasted. They are shaping you. Here is a practical way to think about your journey, and I suggest you take this seriously. In your first year, your task is not to make money. It is to learn, to observe, to test, to lose small and understand why. You must keep records. You must study your own behavior as carefully as you study the market. In your second year, your task is refinement. You narrow your focus. You choose one approach and you commit to it. You stop chasing every opportunity. You work on reducing your mistakes. Fewer trades, better decisions. By the third year, if you have done the work, you begin to press gently, not recklessly. You increase size slowly, only after you have evidence of consistency. You protect your capital as if it were your last dollar. Now here is the part that most traders ignore. Your progress should not be measured by your monthly profits. It should be measured by your behavior. Are you following your rules? Are you controlling your size? Are you avoiding the same mistakes you made last month? Profit is a byproduct. Behavior is the cause. If your behavior improves, profit will follow. If it does not, no strategy will save you. Let me give you a simple example. 2 traders begin at the same time. After 1 year, both are losing. One continues to overtrade, ignores his plan, and blames the market. The other trades less, studies more, and corrects his errors. After 3 years, their results are no longer the same, not because of intelligence, but because of discipline. So when you ask how long it takes to become profitable, you are really asking something else. How long will it take me to become disciplined? How long will it take me to stop making the same mistakes? And that, my friend, depends entirely on you. There is no shortcut to experience, no substitute for patience, no strategy that can compensate for poor behavior. But there is good news, if you are willing to hear it. The path is not random, it is not mysterious, it is governed by principles that have remained unchanged for generations. Respect risk, control your emotions, study your mistakes, stay in the game, and above all, give yourself the time required to become the kind of trader the market rewards. Because the market does not reward speed, it rewards readiness. And readiness in this business is earned slowly.